Today, we are diving deep into the payroll cycle. Now, this is the process that every single business relies on, but it's also one where a tiny, tiny mistake can have some absolutely massive consequences. We're going to explore how automation is completely changing the game. Before we begin, please press the like button and the subscribe button. You know, this quote right here, it gets right to the heart of the matter. In the world of payroll, there is just no room for pretty good. A single misplaced decimal point, that could cause an employee's mortgage payment to bounce. One little overtime miscalculation, that might trigger some hefty government fines. The stakes, they're just incredibly high. So here's our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to start with what we're calling the precision problem. Then we'll dig into the true, often hidden cost of doing all this work manually. From there, we'll see how automation steps in, what the real-world payoffs actually look like, and we'll wrap up with a totally fresh perspective on your payroll team's role. All right, first up, the precision problem. Let's really break down why this demand for absolute perfection in payroll isn't just some nice-to-have goal. It's a flat-out necessity. The fallout from a payroll error is felt almost instantly, and it's personal. Think about it. A simple typo could mean one of your employees can't pay their bills. For the business, forgetting a tax update isn't just an oops, it's a major compliance failure that could cost you thousands. And let's not forget, behind every single error are hours and hours of frustrating detective work, as someone has to drop everything they're doing to find and fix it. So where do all these problems even come from? Well, more often than not, it's the manual process itself. Let's really pull back the curtain on the hidden risks of doing payroll the old-fashioned way. Just look at this traditional workflow. Every single one of these steps is a potential point of failure. Data gets entered by hand. Then it has to be double-checked by another human. Calculations are run, then they have to be verified again. Every single one of these handoffs is a new opportunity for a tiny human error to sneak in and cause one of those big, painful problems we just talked about. And this really gets to the core conflict, doesn't it? We humans are amazing, we're creative, but we're also vulnerable to things like fatigue and distractions. We might skip a step on a checklist when we're in a rush. A machine, though? It never gets tired. It never loses focus. It will perform the exact same calculation perfectly thousands of times in a row without ever complaining. So if the manual process is basically full of these little gaps for errors to slip through, how do we close them? Well, this is exactly where automation steps in and completely changes the game. One of the key tools here is something called AI anomaly detection. Think of it like a super smart, super vigilant gatekeeper. This AI is constantly scanning all the incoming data, and it's been trained to spot things that just don't look right, like a timesheet that claims someone worked 200 hours in a single week. A tired person might totally miss that typo, but the AI, it flags it immediately, catching the error before it ever gets close to a paycheck. And the other key piece of the puzzle is robotic process automation, or RPA. These are basically software bots that are built to handle all those repetitive, rules-based tasks. You know, all that boring math, the tax withholdings, the benefit deductions, you name it. An RPA bot handles it all. It never gets tired, it never loses focus, and it never, ever makes a calculation error. Okay, so the technology is definitely cool, but what does all this actually mean for a business on a day-to-day basis? Let's talk about the real-world payoffs, the things you'll actually feel. The most immediate impact you're going to see is on time. A payroll process that used to take a team days of work can now, seriously, be done in just a few hours. And this isn't just about saving money on labor. It means no more late nights scrambling during year-end close. It literally gives your team their time back. And the benefits just ripple out across the entire organization. Your accuracy shoots way up because data flows directly from time tracking systems. Compliance becomes so much less stressful because tax tables and overtime rules update automatically. Your employees are happier because they have self-service portals for their pay stubs. And new hire data? It flows seamlessly from HR, making sure that all-important first paycheck is absolutely perfect. And this brings us to our final and maybe most important point. Automation isn't about replacing people. Not at all. It's about shifting their focus away from mind-numbing data entry and toward higher-value strategic work. You know, the really good news here is that you don't need to do some massive, expensive overhaul overnight. You can absolutely start small. Maybe that's just creating some simple macros for specific calculations, or maybe it's using analytics dashboards to spot trends. The key is to just start closing those gaps, one step at a time. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? The ultimate responsibility for paying people correctly and on time, that never ever changes. But automation eliminates the soul-crushing, error-prone grind of doing it all by hand. The technology can handle all those repetitive tasks that just burn people out. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. When your skilled payroll team is finally freed from that manual grind, what could they really achieve? I mean, instead of just processing data, they could start analyzing it, turning payroll information into a real strategic asset for financial planning and forecasting. Now, that is the real potential that's unlocked by automation.